Welcome in, everybody, to RedRaiders.com. I'm Nick Kosmider alongside Don Williams, and we're here at day two following the Cliff Kingsbury hiring, the former Texas Tech quarterback, coming back to Lubbock to be the next head coach of the Red Raiders at just 33 years old, gets his first head coaching shot. And Don, just kind of quickly, we all know that with Cliff Kingsbury, the second all-time leading passer here at Texas Tech, but how did he get to this point? What was his coaching, career path that led him here so early?
Well, he had I think Kirby Hocutt was impressed with the fact that he had played under Bill Belichick for a year there with the New England Patriots. He had spent a year with Mike McCarthy when McCarthy was offensive coordinator of the New Orleans Saints, and then he had worked under Kevin Sumlin for these last few years at the University of Houston and at Texas A&M. And so that, in Kirby Hocutt's mind, kind of superseded the fact that he was 33 years old and only had 5 years of coaching experience. And so he was a guy that obviously had been very successful as a player, and Kirby Hocutt cited in the introductory news conference that he's had a lot of immediate success as a coach with the way that he has kind of helped shepherd the development of Case Keenum at Houston, who is one of the most prolific passer really in NCAA history, and then this year taking Johnny Manziel from freshman to Heisman Trophy.
And Don, there's no doubt that the fan base certainly seems to be sort of excited, reinvigorated, whatever adjective you want to use about Cliff Kingsbury coming back and being the coach. Even when Tommy Tuberville was still here and people didn't know that he was going to be leaving, we saw message board chatter, and you'd heard from fans that, hey, we want Cliff Kingsbury back. Didn't even know there was going to be a head coaching position available. So now that he is here, and obviously there's excitement, what does his presence and his coming back to Lubbock mean to this football program and to this community?
Well, I think it generates a lot of enthusiasm, and at least on the front end, it should create ticket sales there at the box office. And Texas Tech had a problem, particularly the last 2 years, whenever they would be behind at halftime by a couple of touchdowns, fans would depart the stadium, go streaming out, and third and fourth quarter it would look like a spring game out there some Saturday afternoons with the number of people in the stands. I don't think you'll have that with Cliff Kingsbury, because people associate him with being the first great Mike Leach quarterback when anything is possible, even if you're behind 28-7, 35-14, something good can still happen. I think they expect him to bring this back to Texas Tech. Now, it's interesting that for all the success that Cliff had throwing the ball under Mike Leach, Cliff Kingsbury pointed out that the Aggies this year led the Southeastern Conference in rushing yardage. They were actually 13th in the nation in rushing offense, and they're 14th in the nation in passing offense. They get 317 through the air, but they also get 235 on the ground. Of course, a lot of that's Johnny Manziel, who rushed for 1,000 yards, 1,100 yards this year. So it will be interesting to see how he kind of evolves his offensive strategy, what he takes from Mike Leach, and then what he kind of does to put his own stamp on what the Red Raiders are doing.
It'll also be interesting to see if Michael Brewer, the sort of heir apparent to Seth Doege, is a guy that he can do some of that running and throwing stuff with. And we'll obviously have a lot more about Cliff Kingsbury and what his hire means to the Texas Tech football program. We'll be there tomorrow when he's formally introduced to Texas Tech at an 11:30 a.m. Press conference at United Spirit Arena. And we'll have continuing coverage into next week, both with Cliff Kingsbury and with Tech's preparations for its bowl game at December 28th in Houston against Minnesota. For Don Williams, I'm Nick Kosmider. Have a great day.